What's good, y'all? We back with another Dragon's Dogma 2 video, and we just got some more new info on the upcoming Arisen expansion. Restart Run interviewed the new director and producer. Dragon's Dogma 2 Arisen director and producer talk hard mode, fashion over stats, and why they named it Arisen again. So Restart Run out the gate hits him with a pretty good question. When did development on Dragon's Dogma 2 Arisen start? Did Itsuno have any involvement with the project before leaving? Naoto Oyama responds, after we released the original game, the base game Dragon's Dogma 2, for over half a year following the launch, we focused on delivering the title updates, and after that was the time when we started developing Dragon's Dogma 2, Dark Arisen. Kinoshita-san, the director here, he's the one who was the lead of the direction from the very beginning when we kicked off the title, so it wasn't like changing the director. Kinoshita-san was the lead of the game from the very beginning, and he put great care and dedication on how they can expand the base game and make the expansion. So yeah, the project kicked off like that. Restart Run asked, why did you decide to call it Dark Arisen again? Oyama responds, when we named the title, we decided on the title after finalizing the content we were creating. At least the idea of the content we were creating. It wasn't title first and then developing the content, but we first finalized the idea of the content we were creating and then decided on the title. There were three main reasons why we landed on Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen. First is the strong affinity with the story that unfolds in the new area, and second is the presence of the loop-based gameplay that we were offered in the original Dark Arisen. In the original Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen players experienced a bit of that kind of loop-based gameplay, but players will be able to experience something similar to that. And number three, the third one, the last one. We chose a familiar name. That will be the easiest way to convey to everyone what kind of elements that people can expect in the expansion. And also, they thought that was a great name for the expansion, so those are the reasons why we landed on Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen. Restart Run asked, through these pretty major title updates, you're changing quite a bit about Dragon's Dogma 2. A player who played the game in 2024 is going to have a drastically different experience than someone who played in 2026 and on. How do you balance the original creative intent of the game versus the changes from fan feedback for Dark Arisen? Kinoshita, first of all, when we designed the base game for Dragon's Dogma 2, we really wanted to deliver a realistic adventure experience, and we think we achieved that successfully in the base game, and we're happy that many players enjoyed that. But also considering the feedback we got from some players and considering the modern standard of RPG games, like open world RPG games, it is true that there are people who think they want to enjoy the game more casually instead of feeling that friction. For example, we added the Eternal Fairy Stone that allows people to fast travel without consuming any items. This is just an option that we've added to the game. If people want to enjoy the game by exploring on foot rather than using fast travel, that's also an option. But also using the Eternal Fairy Stone is definitely another option. So we balanced it by having preserved the core gameplay experience designed for the base game, but also added an option to enjoy the game more casually. So that's how we balanced the two. Restart Run asked, out of all of the feedback you've seen over the years, was there any you were surprised about? Kinoshita responded, in terms of kind of surprising feedback that I got, this is just kind of a personal one. At first, I was assuming that most of the players were just focusing on enjoying the realistic adventure they can enjoy in the game, but we received feedback that they, the players, kind of enjoyed dressing up more than choosing the best equipment in terms of design or how strong it is, like how the defense or the strength stat is high. We just assumed people were more focused on the realistic adventure. But there were many people who asked for more fashionable items and more ways to dress up in the game. So that's something that surprised me. But I want to ask you if you have that thought process where you want to choose more, I don't know, fancy equipment or things like that. Laughs. Jesse Vitelli, Restart Run. I am definitely someone who chose to wear the pants with my butt hanging out of them because it was the best stats I can get early on in the game. So I wouldn't mind some more fashionable ways to dress up. Restart Run asked, how does the new story content fit into the existing story content of Dragon's Dogma 2? Does this content have an impact on the true ending route of the game? Kinoshita says the story that unfolds in the base game and the story that unfolds in the new area, the Norgan area, is completely separate, so it doesn't impact each other. The story that unfolds in Norgan is kind of another apocalyptic tale and hidden beneath the journey to slay the Royce dragon in the base game. So yeah, they designed it like that. There is kind of a mystery that is centered around the story that unfolds in the Norgan area, and the Arisen will progress to solve that mystery. That's the main theme of the newly added story. Oyama says, the Lost Rite challenge dungeons and also the Norgan content, Forsaken Dominion, are an event independent of the base game. So for both the Lost Rite dungeons and also the Norgan content, players will be able to enjoy that content pretty early in the story of the base game. Once players reach Vernworth, the capital of Vermund, which is the first area people have to visit, they will be able to accept the quest to challenge the new content once in Vernworth. They will be able to access the new content pretty early into the game, so it's kind of separate from the main game. I just wanted to clarify that. The recommended level to start the content for the Lost Rite dungeons will be level 20 to start, and for the Norgan content for Forsaken Dominion, that will be level 40, but that's the recommended start level to challenge the content, so there's a difficulty gradient. Although I said that, players will be able to challenge the content pretty early in the game. That is kind of the recommended level, so it'll be pretty tough and often challenging for people to challenge the content right away after reaching Vernworth, but it's also up to the players if they want to challenge that new content with the lowest recommended level, or if they want to level up first and then challenge the content. So that's totally up to the players, and they can enjoy making that decision. Restart Run asks if there is a hard mode being considered for Dark Arisen. Oyama responded, "We have received feedback from the players after releasing the base game, wanting a hard mode added to the game. We are currently considering the addition of a hard mode, but for details like when we can release the hard mode and what kind of mode that will be, there is nothing we can share at this moment. We hope that you'll stay tuned for the official announcement and more details regarding hard mode." Restart Run asked, "Do you think a new Dragon's Dogma Online could work today?" Oyama responded, "It's difficult to answer that question, but for now, we're just mainly focusing on delivering Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen. We hope that people enjoy that one first," laughing. Well, he didn't say no. So Restart Run's next question is, how did you land on the relic system as a new gameplay loop for Dark Arisen? Kinoshita responds, "The motivation behind kicking off this project was mainly that we received passionate feedback from players that have played Dragon's Dogma 2, is that they want to play the game more, they want to enjoy the world of Dragon's Dogma 2 more, and also especially they want to enjoy the combat more. So we really carefully designed the combat system, and combat was the main focus when designing the new content in Norgan. We wanted to also make challenging content for players in the new area. As we already announced, we'll be adding new weapon skill slots and also new skills for each vocation. But beyond what players have equipped in terms of skills and weapons and vocations and things like that, we wanted to add more layers on that. So by appraising those relics in the relic cycle system, there will also be unique skills for each spoils you'll appraise. So you'll have another layer of how you want to build your Arisen, like your player, your character, and then the combat system will go more in depth, not just about the vocation or the skills you have, but also what you will equip and what kind of skills you want to combine with weapon skills you've equipped, which adds that layer and makes the game more enjoyable and more challenging. That's the motivation behind designing that.